Hey, what's going on? Welcome to the Sammy Rigaud podcast. I am going to talk to you for a little bit today. A little bit. It's short. It's random. I'm interrupting the playoff talk to talk about something else. So, unfortunately, man, I don't even like talking about stuff like this, but there is a lesson in this. What in the world is going on with Shannon Sharpe? Let's talk about it. Let's get some facts. Shannon Sharpe facing a civil lawsuit filed by a woman using the pseudonym Jane Doe, who alleges that Sharpe sexually assaulted her multiple times during a nearly 2-year relationship, consensual relationship. The lawsuit seeks over $50 million in damages, accusing Sharpe of assault, battery, intentional infliction of emotional distress, coercion, and in response, Shannon Sharpe has put out and said that he is innocent, and this is a viciously false claim, describing the encounter as consensual, involving role playing. His attorney states that the woman rejected a $10 million settlement. So he offered her $10 million to settle, and she refused it, and she filed this civil case asking for $50 million, and she wants him out of here. These are my thoughts because, it just is. Do I think this happened? I don't know. I don't even think that's my place to talk. I do think, though, there are some lessons in this, right? And I try not to come off as holier than thou. When these kind of things happen, I had closed my mouth on the Ant-Man situation. I closed my mouth on the Ja Morant, right, situation. Right, I closed my mouth on that. But I do think this one merits my thoughts to y'all on this. I do think so. My dad told me, before my daddy passed, he told me, son, make sure you find you a woman that's good. And as you get older, you will have a tasteful, peaceful life. My daddy died at 82 years old. My mother was on his side as he passed, and we buried him, and we honored him in his way. And my mom and dad almost celebrated 50 years of marriage. My uncle passed during COVID, and he also was married for a long time. Him and my aunt were married for 30 years. And he died with my aunt. Couldn't be at his side because of COVID, but they were together. And, my aunt's still recovering from that. 30 years of marriage. There's something about Shannon Sharpe being 56 years old without that wife to age tastefully and peacefully. That's the lesson I got. All my young guys who watch this, who talk to me, listen, man, I'm going to pass that same advice that my dad gave. Find you somebody and get out of these folks' faces, man, because this is a wild world. And a true successful man has a good woman on his side as he ages. That's the first lesson in that. I think it's a bad look on Shannon Sharpe. It looks crazy. The stuff that's happening isn't that crazy. I'm reading the messages. It's role playing. It's aggressive talk. It's banter. It's fun. It's loose. A lot of like that stuff is, hey, that's you. That's your game. That's your style. That's your play. What they say, let them cook. Do your thing. I think the tough part is, when you're not explicitly with one person, it kind of looks crazy, and it kind of looks like this young lady kind of set him up and got him. She looked like she got him. It do look like she got him. And it looks bad. 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 The other thing that we can take from this is, at what age do we start holding people accountable? At what age? Right? And I'm not even talking about the lady, right? Her name's flowing out, her page is flowing out, all that stuff's going on. But for the most part, we have to look at Shannon Sharpe and say, yo, like, my guy, you're of age. You know, we look up to you. I look up to Shannon Sharpe. Media-wise, I look up to Shannon Sharpe. I watched Undisputed for years. I watched it. I watched First Take, which, like, I like Nightcap. I like all that. I like Shannon Sharpe. I like how he's funny. I like his character. The whole Lakers in 5 thing. Like, I like Shannon Sharpe, man. I like it a lot. I like him a lot. Look up to him. I think his idea of doing media by himself, right? He's got, his podcast. That Cat Williams thing, I watched that twice. The whole thing, I watched it twice. At what age do we start holding people accountable? Yeah, they're not perfect, but man, there's some things that, like, there's a position you get to where we have to hold you accountable. It's a bad look. Apparently there's a tape floating around. It's bad. It's a bad look. I think when you're in that position, you owe people more. You owe people like me more. You owe other black young men. Like, you owe us a role model. You don't want to have to do it, right? You don't want to do it, but you owe it to us. I think you owe it to us. And then, if you bear with me the next few moments, I think here's the part that's a little messy. This part that's a little messy. What does a 20-year-old girl see in a 56-year-old man? And then let me put my volume down. And then, is all this consensual? Or are you playing the victim because you either didn't get what you want or it didn't go the way you exactly had pictured in your mind? You are with an athlete. Shannon Sharpe is a multi-millionaire, famous athlete, former athlete, Hall of Fame. He's on TV 5 days a week. He's on Nightcap every day. He's at a podcast that's booming. He's on YouTube. You Google him, hits come up. You are a 20-year-old young lady. What are you doing in that space? What are you doing? What do you think's going to happen? What do you think's going to happen when you go to these, you're around these people? What do you think is going to happen? That's why I think it is somewhat of a setup, because you know pretty well what's going to happen, what's going on in these situations when you put yourself in these situations. You signed up for it, and you didn't get what you want. So I'm sitting back. I don't want to watch this. I want to watch basketball. I don't want to watch this. I don't want to talk about this. I want to watch basketball. I want to see the draft, both drafts. I want to see who's going to win the championship. I want to see who's going to rebuild their team. You know what I mean? I want to do all that. I don't want to watch this. I don't want to hear about this. But unfortunately, we got to sit back, and a lot's going to come out because these are some high-profile case. What are y'all thoughts? What are y'all thoughts? Is Shannon right? Is she right? What do we think of Shannon Sharpe? What do you think of this whole situation? Let me know in the comments what you think, man. This is a Sammy Rigaud podcast. Make sure you are subscribed. I love y'all for showing so much love in this whole playoff thing we're doing. We're going to keep going too. But I did want to stop and take a break and talk about this. And I hope I don't have to talk about this again. I hope we talk more about what we came here to do. God bless y'all.